When I was in college, my best mate, who I'll call Ethan for privacy, and I hung out almost every day. We were also roommates, which made things easier. Together, though, we definitely weren't the smartest. Not in an academic way, but in a make a lot of bad impulsive decisions kind of way. We always ended up doing something stupid, exploring abandoned buildings, climbing radio towers, sneaking into the old quarry at night. Just reckless stuff that sounded fun at the time. One night we came up with an idea that felt tame compared to our usual stunts. We thought it'd be fun to check out the woods at the edge of Millersville around 12:30 a.m. Maybe we'd get a little adrenaline rush or something interesting to talk about later. Millersville was a small college town, surrounded by forest on nearly every side. But the east side woods were different. No one ever went there. Even locals avoided it. A chemical plant explosion back in the 1980s wiped out that section of town. The area was evacuated and never rebuilt, leaving behind ruins and empty, overgrown streets. Since then, that side had become wild again, untouched, unmarked, and silent. We packed 2 flashlights and a small backpack, then headed out. It was a 25-minute walk from campus to the edge of town, and another 10 through the abandoned industrial area before reaching the woods. Once we were sure no one was around, we switched on our flashlights and stepped between the trees. After a few minutes, the faint glow of town disappeared completely. Only the moonlight and our cheap flashlights lit the path ahead. The first 20 minutes were quiet, that strange kind of silence that makes you hear your own breathing. After the first wave of creepiness faded, it felt like any other forest, just trees, shadows, and nothing else. Then, out of nowhere, Ethan froze. "Hey, you see that?" he said softly, pointing ahead. There was a light up ahead, cutting through the dark, not flickering like firelight, but steady and bright, hovering low near the ground. We got closer and realized what it was, a flashlight, just lying on the forest floor. No camp, no footprints, no people. It was still shining strong, which meant someone had dropped it recently, maybe even within the hour. But how could someone lose a glowing flashlight in pitch-black woods? It didn't make sense. That's when it hit us. Maybe whoever dropped it was running, and if they didn't come back for it, maybe they were running from something. A cold shiver ran down my spine. That should have been our sign to leave, but of course we didn't. We came looking for a thrill, and now that we had one, neither of us wanted to back out. We decided not to touch the flashlight, just in case someone returned for it. So we kept walking deeper into the trees. I led the way. Ethan followed close behind, both of us sweeping the darkness with our lights. Barely 2 minutes later, we heard it, a sharp crack behind us. It wasn't just one sound, more like several sticks snapping fast, maybe 30 feet back. We turned immediately, flashlights cutting through the trees. Nothing. Just branches and shadows shifting in the wind. We stood there for a long moment, holding our breath. The air felt colder now. Finally, we shrugged it off and kept moving, though slower this time, both of us constantly looking over our shoulders. 5 minutes later, it happened again, louder this time. The sound was clear. Footsteps, fast ones crunching across the forest floor behind Ethan. We spun around, lights sweeping side to side. Still nothing. That's when it changed, when the excitement we came for turned into real fear. The kind that hits in your chest, makes your hands tremble, and leaves your heartbeat echoing in your ears. Whatever it was, it followed us at least 5 or 6 times, always staying just far enough back that we couldn't see anything. Then, on the last one, we saw it. As we turned, the light caught a shape, maybe 20 feet away, someone's shadow slipping behind a tree. Ethan froze, whispering, "Did you see that?" We both stared, and then, I'll never forget this, a head leaned out from behind the tree, slowly, just enough to see part of a face. We didn't wait to find out who or what it was. We ran. We sprinted through the trees for what felt like forever. Probably 5 straight minutes, until our lungs burned. When we finally stopped, both of us were gasping for air, checking behind us every few seconds. We turned our flashlights down to dim and walked quickly back toward town. Oddly enough, we noticed that the flashlight we'd seen earlier was gone. Someone must have picked it up and turned it off. When we finally reached campus, we sat outside our dorm building for a good half hour, trying to process it. We still couldn't make sense of it. Who was out there? Why were they following us? A few days later, the local police posted a notice about a missing person. A 27-year-old man last seen heading toward the old industrial section on the east side of town, the same direction as those woods. There's no way to prove what we experienced had anything to do with that, but it's hard not to wonder. Maybe that man dropped the flashlight. Maybe the thing we saw wasn't even him. Either way, every time I think about that night, I realize just how lucky we were to make it back. Because if we'd kept going, if we'd tried to see who or what was following us, maybe our names would have been the ones on that missing poster.